All right. So in our last video, we basically went in and set up this players loop, right? And this is where we're going to loop through our players. Okay, and we come in here and we basically created a couple variables, name and score, just to make it easy because we're going to be calling on those quite a bit in our program. I also set up this char_c to get a character, which down here, if you remember, we want a lowercase or an uppercase r. Okay, and that's for roll. I don't want any other keyboard key pressed, and if they press anything, I basically want to keep prompting them to roll or give me an R. All right, now if you remember from earlier, I said the best way and my favorite way to do that is with a do while loop. Because you can go in there and you can say how many dice do you want to play with, or you can say roll. Then you can check down here, did they give you what you want? And if they didn't, prompt them again until they give you what you want. So I set this up in an if else. We're going to change it a little bit. And I'm going to do a do while loop. Alright, so within my do while loop, if you remember, we basically question them, or tell them to enter something, and then we get their input. And then we check their input to see if they gave us what we wanted. So what do we want in there? We want this roll the dice. Alright, so Control X to cut or move. And then we'll paste it down here inside the do part of the do while loop. Now what are we checking? We're checking basically this, but let me go ahead and cut and paste that in there. Alright, and then I'm going to get rid of this if else statement. So we're going to do that while, okay, we don't want to do it while C is equal to R, so we're going to do not equal, and that's basically an exclamation point equals, and that's how you say not equal. And then of course this one's not equal, but we want to say if both of them aren't equal, so we're going to say the and here, which is an ampersand, which is shift 7. Do that twice. So now if C is not equal to R and C is not equal to capital R, we're going to keep prompting them. And then I'm going to go ahead and put an all is good down here so that we can see that we come out of there and all is good. So I'm going to do Control C and a Control V. And then I'm just going to change that to all is good. Alright, so now when we're running through this, when we get to this part of our loop, we're going to come in there and we're going to take the first player and say it's your turn, your current score is, and of course it's going to be 0 because we haven't changed it yet. Then we're going to come down here in the do loop and tell them to roll. And if they give us anything other than an R lowercase or an R uppercase, we're going to keep telling them roll the dice. Alright, and once they give us either or, it'll say all is good, come out of that for loop, or I shouldn't say come out of the for loop, it'll basically it's finished its first thing, J will get incremented by 1, it'll go to the basically number 1, so or your second player, and do the same thing for them. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, how many dice? Like say I like the 2. How many players? We'll say 4. And we'll go through Joseph, Jana, Jensen, and let's see who's another one. Let's see, Alana. Alright, so Joseph, it's your turn. Your current score is 0. Roll the dice. Well, Joseph's not too bright, so he hits a P. And it comes back up, roll the dice. He's like, well, let me try an L. And it says roll the dice again. How about an H? No, because Joseph's stubborn. All right, let me go ahead and hit an R. So he hits an R. Now, of course, it does fall into this because it is equal to R, either one of them. So now it should come out, break this loop, say all is good, and go to my next player. All right, all is good. Jana, who was my second player, I believe. It's your turn. Now we're going to do a capital R. And like I say, you can type in whatever you want. All it's going to read is that first one. So as you can see, I'm typing a bunch of junk here. All right, now when I hit enter, it's only going to read that first one because of the char at 0. And there you go. All is good. Jensen, it's your turn. Roll the dice. We'll do a lowercase r. And then Alana will do an uppercase r. And once again, we're not looping back to our first player yet. So this will end the loop, but it should say all is good right before it does. And it does. All right, so that right there gets us through getting an R from them and basically storing it in C. So down here now, because we already know we got what we wanted, we can actually move on and take the next part of our program. And we'll get into that in the next video because I don't want to make this too long because I know these videos have been running between 15 and 20 minutes. So go ahead and enjoy this short one, take a break, and we'll get into a little bit more in the next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.